All right, episode 7. Welcome, guys. If you want to listen to us on podcast services, you just check the description below. We're going to jump right into this introductions. So, James, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm James. You can find me at Untitled Smithy on Twitter. And I'm happy to be here this week. And my camera's just gone off, son of a bitch.
That kind of day. It's that kind of day. Mine looks staticky.
Yeah, a little bit.
Dory?
Hi, I'm Dory. I go by she, her pronouns. And I can be found on Twitter at declare192. And I am moderately pleased to be here.
Cool. Mitch?
Hi, I'm Mitch. You can find me on Twitter at uneducatedpop. And I guess I am here.
Alright, I'm Sebastian. I'm the podcast host. You can follow me at Little793. What are we currently playing?
Yeah.
James, I'll start with you.
Well, I'm playing Tony Hawk as Pro Skater, which we'll talk about in a wee bit. What else am I playing? I just wrapped up Ghost of Tsushima. So the review.
Hey man, I don't mean to interrupt. My camera froze.
Yeah, your camera froze. I was gonna say something, but I wasn't sure if it was just me.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is turn off my camera because I think it's about to die and it's gonna freeze again. But it's just easier just to talk like this. So let me do that really quick, and then we can just get this ball rolling. All right. So let's start with we can do currently playing. So James said his. So Mitch, what are you currently playing?
I'm currently playing Avengers. I got that with the deluxe edition and the early access that came with it, and yeah, I've really been enjoying it. I'll get more into it when we actually get into our impressions. But yeah, I finished the campaign last night for me, and yeah, I'm very happy with it so far.
Cool. Dory, what are you playing?
I am playing Arkham City, which I just beat. I'm thinking about doing some post-game stuff. Think it held up really well for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And then I am also playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Played about 4 hours of that, and really excited to talk about my early impressions.
Nice. Alright, mine's like a loaded question because I played like 5 games this week. I Platinum After Party, good game. The second playthrough was very annoying. Not a fun game to play through a second time. Although you didn't have to beat it, but you had to do like half a playthrough. I'm playing Darksiders at Genesis. I'm like, I don't know, like a quarter way in. I've been playing Madden NFL 21. I did the story mode, if you can call it that. It's kind of shitty. But I mean, the game it's basically the same as last year, of course. I've been playing the Avengers. I got like, I don't know, 3 hours in, and then I played Tony Hawk for like maybe 40 minutes. So I'll have a lot of these games beat by next week. But so I'm playing a bunch of games at once. So I mean, that's how I always am.
Throwing yourself in. Yeah, he's throwing yourself in there with all the games.
Yeah, that's just how I am. And then Mafia will come out in like a week or so, and then, you know.
Oh, yeah. Oh god, is that close? Oh no.
It's like halfway, right? Middle of September.
It's like, what is it? The 25th of September, I think.
Oh, okay. So
I think so. I think
it's
so.
a few weeks away then. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Gives me a break. All right.
Yeah.
So let's jump in Dory's Cris Tales impressions.
Oh yeah,
you just did a video on that. Yeah,
that's right. I totally forgot. Yeah, so Cris Tales is interesting because it is the first turn-based RPG game I have probably played since the late 90s. I can't say that with 100% certainty, but I'm pretty sure I've not played a turn-based RPG game since Final Fantasy VII, like the original Final Fantasy VII on PlayStation, which is wild to think about. But I think I touched the genre once when I was a kid, thought it was really hard, and then decided that I wouldn't go back to it, or that it wasn't for me. And since then, I've just always thought the genre was a little bit too slow.
Yeah.
But I really love the art style of Cris Tales. So the main conceit of the game is that you can see past, present, and future all in one screen, and that your choices have a very immediate impact on the environment around you. You're basically trying to stop this Empress time mage or something like that from conquering the lands, and so you get together with your typical party of 4, and you go out to stop her. You go on this big quest to stop her. So I played the demo. It's about an hour and a half. It's not very long.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very fun. It was a little antiquated at first. Felt kind of like stuck in the 90s, kind of.
Yeah.
But eventually you get to, and especially in the Coliseum mode, which is like a sort of survival mode, where you have to survive 8 rounds, and then there's a boss at the end. Which I didn't even get to. I don't even think I got to round 6. That was really tough for me. You start to like see how battles can be very strategic and interesting. So you can use Cris Bell's abilities and crystals to sort of, if you poison an enemy with one of your teammates, you can then make them go from the present to the future so that the poison has taken full effect and they get all the damage all at once. So very cool stuff.
Yeah.
Sounds interesting.
I'm watching gameplay right now of it. So it looks like it's a 2D, kind of like a mix of 2D and 3D when you're walking around the arena.
There's a lot of the animation is very 2D, but there's some 3D interaction.
So it's like it's old school. Like you're just walking down a path, and then like all of a sudden monsters attack you, and then you jump into a battle. Is that how it works?
In the demo, it seems like plans or battles are very much intentional. It does seem to be that they're very story based, but that might change after the demo ends. I'm not sure, obviously. But as far as the demo goes, all battles were very intentional, and it didn't have a frustrating sense of randomness to it.
Yeah,
it was very linear and scripted in that sense.
Yes. Which I'm okay with, because I don't mind. I would prefer linear and scripted over random and spontaneous battles that I may not want to do or may not be in the mood for.
It looks like it tells you like who, like the order of the fights, like who's gonna.
Yes,
that's pretty cool.
It's a very neat system on the top where it's like where it's basically tells you who's gonna go and when, and you can even you can obviously affect this turn order through the crystals. I wasn't able to do all the tips and tricks that you might want to do, obviously, given that I didn't win. But at the Coliseum. But one frustrating thing I did have with Cris Tales is that they don't display the enemy's health for some reason. They don't display. They do display yours, but as far as I could tell, anyway, they didn't seem to display. Even when you're fighting bosses, they didn't display the enemy's health. I'm not sure why. That may have just been a demo thing. But I'm not positive on that. But it was a little frustrating because I kept hitting a boss in the demo and over and over and over again, and I just had no idea of like where they were in the fight.
Yeah, I had that frustration as well. Because I played the demo as well, but the combat in general seemed a little there was something sort of off about it. It didn't feel entirely satisfying at first, at least. I think maybe because like it maybe caught me off guard with the lack of controller vibrations with the just in general. So the attacks felt very sort of light.
I see.
You know?
Yeah.
So it didn't feel like it had any weight to it. Or anything.
Yeah. That's it pretty much.
But
other than that, I thought it was a lot of fun.
It looks very old school, that's for sure. I know neither of you guys are turn-based people. You know, you're not really big fans of that genre.
Not my favorite. But,
this is very old school. Dory, how does the
on the Steam?
Go ahead.
Sorry.
You're good. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say on the Steam store, the developers explicitly state that it is an homage to old school turn-based RPG game.
Yeah. Dory, I know it's only a demo, but like, how does the customization and the armor and stuff, like, do you see a difference on the character, or like did it cosmetically? I mean.
So interestingly, there wasn't a lot of that in the game. I didn't see, which honestly, after playing the Avengers beta, was a little refreshing. But there wasn't a lot of things to equip or de-equip. There were some items. It didn't really explain how to use potions at first, and explicitly like work everything out inside of the battle. But it was pretty intuitive. I only messed up once with the whole system, so it wasn't a big deal. But yeah, I mean, I got a potion. I got something that helps revive a teammate. I got something that helps. Like mostly, I just got items. I didn't get any armor. I'm betting that will happen later in the game. But it was pretty early prologue stuff. So our heroine and her compatriots had just really started their adventure.
Yeah.
And so I don't think any armor or anything like that, any accessories that we would get like in Final Fantasy VII Remake,
Yeah.
is probably down the line.
Yeah. Now, the core of every RPG is the story. How is the story?
It's okay. I don't know a lot. I can't say a lot about how good it is because there's just not a ton.
Not enough. Yeah.
Yeah, not a ton to be told, but so far it's pretty boilerplate.
Yeah.
RPG.
Can you give like a quick like summary, like just of the demo?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, I mean, it's this little girl. Her name's Cris Bell.
Yeah.
I don't remember the town or what it's called, but she is basically her town is under attack by the hordes of goblins from this empress who is in a faraway land, and she's trying to conquer the world. Basically, you're trying to stop her from taking over the world. It's the most typical RPG plot imaginable. I'm sure they're going to do interesting twists with it, though.
Yeah.
The developers seem to have a wide knowledge of RPGs under their belt. I sincerely doubt it's as simple as, oh, here's this evil lady who's trying to take over the world through time magic or whatever. Go stop her with your time magic. So it doesn't seem particularly impressive, but I bet that there are surprises to be seen.
For sure, and I really like the animation. It's really unique and creative.
Yeah, I think that's the standout of the whole thing. Really
stands out. Yeah.
Yes,
for sure.
The music too. Oh, I just want to mention that the music is fantastic.
Every RPG gotta have a great soundtrack. It's not the same without one. Yeah. Now,
even people who hate like the Kingdom Hearts franchise or think it's really lousy or whatever, most people will say, "Oh yeah, the music always like kicks ass or whatever."
Oh yeah, for sure. Although, usually people that play Kingdom Hearts usually would like these kind of games too, because like RPG people are certain types of gamers, and a lot of people.
Yep.
It's not for everybody. So like, when does this game come out?
It comes out in November, I believe, November 9th.
Oh, okay.
Question mark.
I'll double check that real quick. I thought it was 13th, but.
And do you guys know the price? Like, do you know, like, it's like 30, 40 bucks?
Yeah, it's gonna be like
November 17th. It comes out.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, right as Cyberpunk and a bunch of other games.
Ah, yes.
So,
I don't.
Yes.
Sorry,
There's
I'm
a tight
only hearing about
competition.
Cris Tales. I don't understand what you're saying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What? You don't want to play Cyberpunk or Assassin's Creed Valhalla or literally
I just
anything
want
else?
to say, apple cider is so good, and I'm so glad it's fall.
When we do impressions of Cyberpunk, you'll be the only one doing that one. You just knock yourself out. We'll let you talk for 10. We'll let you talk for 10 minutes.
I'll do Cris Tales, and then I'll be like, okay, is there any other game that came out this month and I missed it? I think this was it, right?
No, this is something I'd probably play like after Cyberpunk for sure. Like when December is a dry month, so
it's very cute. I just kept singing, like I kept pestering my partner while we were playing. While she was like kind of watching me play a little bit. I kept singing along to it. It's very catchy tunes, very upbeat, just fun to listen to. So I don't know even if the game isn't good, that soundtrack though.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like it would be. It looks pretty good. Actually, I'm really interested in this. I had no clue about it when you did a video on it. I was like, what the heck is this?
Yeah, so I didn't know about it either. I had vaguely heard about it, but Ben Hansen from the MinMax show talked about how excited he was for Cris Tales and how he'd been hearing about it. He was interested to check it out.
Yeah.
And then I think James mentioned it or something on the Discord or something like that. And then I was like, yeah, I was kind of interested in that anyway. So yeah, there's a free demo. Why not?
Cool. Yeah. You have anything more to add about it or?
It's incredibly cute, the animation and the and just the design of the world. So I'm very excited to see what the rest of the world looks like.
Yeah,
I don't think it definitely won't be a $60 game. I think it'll be something like a $20, $30 game, but we'll see.
Yeah, I can see that.
And you know what? Demos have been a sort of rare breed in past years, I think. And I'm glad they're sort of making a comeback. It seems recently. Yeah, specifically with maybe this type of game.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Tony Hawk had a great demo as well, and Avengers basically had a demo, right? Even though it was called a beta, might as well be.
True.
Basically a demo. Yeah.
Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, they all got demos and everything.
Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, Resident Evil as well. It seems like. it seems like most of the like Japan-based games are getting demos more than like Western releases because they mostly just go for betas / demos for the multiplayer titles. Yeah.
Although it's still not like back in the day when they just put a bunch of demos on one disc and they give it to
there's-
I missed that. Yeah.
Oh,
from like
those are so
there's
good.
nothing.
from like Pizza Hut or something.
There's nothing better than like even in the 360 days, just like just going to the the store or whatever and browsing the free demos to see if anything's been added and just like downloading a random game demo because like that looks interesting and then it's alright, demos basically need to come back is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think we need to bring them back.
Demos and cheat codes.
Yes,
Yes.
cheat code. And Gex.
We'll start a petition for all of those.
If this podcast succeeds at anything, it's got to be that ASMR video with the Sony president, Gex, and demos and cheat codes.
We need a Gex. Like, what do we like? Where's our Gex reboot, Sony? Come on.
We have very moderate and reasonable demands, and we expect them to be met.
Yes.
Gex and Knack 3.
I don't know
Yeah.
how we're splitting this up, Seb. I'm so sorry about the editing.
No, it's fine. All right. So speaking of cheat codes and old school gaming, Tony Hawk has cheat codes, which a lot of people are really enjoying, actually.
Bam. Good segue.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
So Dory, I'll let you take it off because you have more of a history compared to these guys
Sure.
here. For Tony Hawk.
Okay, I don't want to tower above anyone here, but yes, I did play the classics, and like I mentioned last week, I've also played Tony Hawk Underground. I think that was the last Tony Hawk game I played, and I remember enjoying it. I don't remember the games for squat. Like, I can't tell you much about my experience playing them when I was younger. I remember enjoying them, but I couldn't tell. Like, everyone's like, "Oh, the soundtrack's so iconic." I don't remember anything from it, and I don't get it chills listening to any of these songs. Even Superman, which is like the biggest song from it, I don't remember.
Can't relate. Can't relate.
Yeah, can't relate, right?
That soundtrack's legendary.
R/ can't relate.
Yes.
But that said, I have played about 4 hours, and it is tremendous. I've already gotten 100K and 125K on the first 2 levels. My partner and I have been playing, and we've been having a really, really fun time. The sense of like accomplishment that you feel when you get all the letters, or like it's getting down to the last 5 seconds, you get that one last collectible, and you don't think you're gonna make it. Like, my partner and I have both like just yelled out in excitement like multiple times of achieving something when we didn't think we could, or like getting a score, or like whatever. So it's been really exciting for both of us.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Yeah.
What I like about it really does feel like a remnant of like 1999, like 2000, like that whole era. It really does. It's not like it's pretty much is the same game. Like the difference is they put all 3 games in like one package in terms of like, or 2 of them. Yeah, 2 of them. Like you can they're courses instead of just games. You know what I mean? Like there's races or whatever stages.
Which is smart, I think.
Which is smart. I actually like that idea.
Yeah.
And of course, like the music and everything, it really does feel like back in the day, when everybody was wearing Vans and baggy shorts and listening to pop punk music all the time.
That's right.
I love that how authentic it is back to the old school.
Yes.
It takes you back to 2003. That kind of like whole 4 or 5 years era. So.
And that's the thing. I think that's the main difference is I never played the original.
Yeah.
Or any of the other games for that matter. So most, like, all of the gripes that I have with it are ones that would have been present in the original.
Yeah.
Because of course, like a good remaster, the point is you're not supposed to notice anything really. It's supposed to feel like it did originally.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I assume it is a good remaster. It seems like a good one.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I have a bunch of small gripes where like I'm loving the game, but there's stuff like it takes a little too long for the character to get back up after he's fallen over. Sometimes you're just watching him, and a lot of some of the items that you have to collect on some of the maps they're a little obscure. Like I'm playing the game to fight. I'm playing the game to skate and do tricks and stuff. I don't want to spend half an hour playing hide and seek with a bell.
It's definitely
that
90s.
has to collect, right?
I had trouble with that too, James.
Yeah.
That was actually the
Yeah.
one where I had like 10 seconds left, and I was able to get one of the bells, and my partner and I.
I still
cheered.
haven't found it.
Yeah.
It's been hours. I still haven't
tough.
found it.
That's the thing. Go ahead.
I recommend using the goal camera for that because that'll help you find some of them.
Yeah.
I could also give you hints if you want afterwards. But
yeah. That's the thing. That's what makes it feel old school though. Is that it feels like an old PS1 game because that's like when they just throw you in a level and make you find stuff. They don't give you any direction. And their PS1 games were obsessed with like putting collectibles in a stage and make you just like look for it. Like back in the day when you had to collect letters to add letters up to make a word. Right. That's so old school. Like they don't do that anymore.
It definitely feels like a remnant of its time. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
I would say my partner. So I asked my partner because somebody else was asking me, and I don't really have many memories of 1 and 2, but and I think I played them. But I asked her, I was like, so how does this feel compared to the original? She's like, oh, it's for her at least, it was a lot better in terms of coordination. Obviously, graphics.
Yeah.
She thinks the music is better. I gotta agree. I think pretty much every song that I've heard is really good.
For sure.
There's really been no song that I haven't at least like done a little bit of movement to, or like gone like, yeah, this sounds like a song you would skate to. Like even if I'm not like 5 stars, album of the year or song of the year or whatever, I'm like, yeah, I can imagine this being a song that you would skate to.
Oh, for sure. It's. I don't know if they added new songs. I'm not entirely sure. Like I don't know every song.
They did. I think they did anyway because there were some artists. There were some, obviously, it's been like 20 years or whatever. There were some copyright issues with getting every single song back on the soundtrack, which is just ridiculous. Who wouldn't want their song back on the Tony Hawk thing when it's going to sell like hotcakes? Like that, to me, that just doesn't make any sense. But it's probably
like
just record executives.
Yeah.
Yes, like hotcakes.
It's just crazy hearing like ska punk in 2020. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause that genre is so dead, strange. So dead now. Like when you hear a trombone playing with rock music, you don't hear that no more. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I know. It's a very weird time, but it still really works for me. I do agree with some of James's gripes that sometimes it does feel. I think pressing X makes them get up faster, but I'm not positive. It seems to, but I think if it does, it's very small.
Yeah, and they changed the fall animation. You used to just lose your board and get up, and now they add like this digital thing.
I don't know if this is intentional, but I think like they've got like Tony Hawk's models in particular. Like he looks like Tony Hawk does now, rather than what he would have done in 1999 or whatever.
Yeah.
And when he gets back up, sometimes he does. He's adjusting his back and everything, and which is quite funny.
He actually, it's cool, but because there's a couple of cool things actually I want to mention about this game outside of the gameplay or anything. But one is that Tony, originally I believe Activision or Vicarious or whoever wanted to reuse the original model and just scale it up, right? That's the obvious answer. Mm-hmm. But Tony was like, no, I want people to see that I'm still skating, that even at 40 or whatever, that you can still skate.
I'm still alive.
Yeah, that I'm still alive.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I'm a person, I swear. A couple other things that they did was that there was a move that had a certain name attached to it that a lot of people thought was offensive, and was switched to the person who actually originated the move, who themselves was deaf.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really rad. And then another really cool thing they did is that there's actually a non-binary skater in the game. I forget their name, but they are in the game, which is really awesome and really good inclusion. So they've just done a lot of good things outside of it to make it like a really cool game that's like kind of grown with the times. But the non-binary skater is named Leo Baker. So they are. I just think that's really, especially as a non-binary person myself, like that. I did not expect when I saw Tony Hawk Remaster. I'm like, oh yeah, this is a game that's going to have some transgender rep. No, I didn't really think that at all. But I'm glad it's there. That's awesome. So I think they're just doing a great job on a lot of levels that go way beyond just being a well-made game.
Yeah,
for sure.
So,
I think
so it's not just a. Oh, sorry.
Go, Mitch. What were you saying?
Okay, I was just gonna say, so it's not just like a lazy remaster that they just put on the shelves for
No, it's a
2020
remake.
for some nice nostalgia. Oh, sorry, remake.
Feels like a
That they
remake.
put on the
yeah.
shelves for some like nice nostalgia. They actually put in the effort to update some of the like models and some extra features and notches. So like it's worth it basically.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to get.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think
yeah.
on the Tony Hawk thing, with him looking older in the game, I think I know why he must have wanted that to be done, because if it had been a younger version of him, he probably would have had more people coming up to him in the street saying, "Hey, you look like Tony Hawk." But now the more people will be
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, you're Tony Hawk." So
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
He wants to like just not remain relevant like in that cynical way, but he just wants to sort of like say, look, I'm Tony Hawk. This is who I am now.
He doesn't want people coming up to him at restaurants saying, "Are you famous?" and so and so.
No, he's
You
still,
look like that Tony Hawk guy.
no, he's still popular. I would say he's like nobody today. But
No, definitely, yeah.
the one thing you guys didn't hit on yet is the gameplay. Now, how does the game feel to skate? Like how many how well are you guys doing the tricks?
I am not good at this game. I'll be upfront about that.
Yeah.
But it's when you nail a trick or a combo or something, like it's so satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said before, when you don't and when you fall over, it is a little frustrating because you have to wait a second. But yeah, no, like getting a combo and everything, like one of the best feelings I think of the year.
Well, you just don't fall over. You play your game right.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a
no.
great,
Of course. Why
good,
didn't I think of that?
James.
sounds like a you problem now. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're just good at the game.
I don't know why I didn't think of that, honestly.
I completely agree with James. I think it feels so good when you nail a really good combo.
Yeah.
And it does kind of suck when you fall over, but I don't get too upset unless it's a long string of them. Then I get a little frustrated, but I still haven't got. What's that?
There's nothing worse than when you have like you have like 15,000 times 5 or something, and you just blow it.
It's happened. I have like a 7,000, 9,000 in one combo, and I'll just like bail on the last one. That's what it's called, by the way. Tony explains that in the tutorial. That's called bailing.
Yeah.
The tutorial is a lot of fun because Tony will repeatedly use terms that are very skater, and I'm just like, oh my god, I feel like I've been transported to the 90s.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, the controls feel generally good, unless you are trying to do very precise movement, which this game is obviously not really tailored towards, so I don't see that as a huge deal. But like, for example, James was mentioning the bells that you have to wall grind on in the school level. Which I just finished and 100%ed. There's one in particular that you really have to like be very precise with. You gotta kind of stop yourself because he'll either rail on the thing that's right next to it, or Anyway, it's a pain in the butt, but if you get it down, it's not too bad. But again, it's a skater game. It's not really made for precise aim. You're supposed to just kind of go with where your skateboard takes you.
Now, have you guys used the cheats at all?
No, I didn't know that they had brought them back.
Yeah, there's cheats where you can you don't fall off the board at all. You always land your tricks no matter what.
Okay, cool. Would that impact your sort of progress and stuff though? Would that block out achievements?
No, it doesn't.
No,
I tried it out. I didn't stick with it, but I just messed with it a little bit. And this thing's like. Go ahead. You're gonna say something.
So do you know what is a pain in the arse, right?
Yeah.
That special trick that Tony Hawk has. Was it the McTwist or something like that? Sounds like a fucking McDonald's dessert. But that I can never get enough air to pull that off because that's such a long trick. Yeah, and it's so frustrating.
You probably have to find a ramp to go down and then try to get some air. Yeah.
So I need to get good, basically, what you're saying.
Yeah, get good. That's the answer to everything. Yeah. I hear gripes. It's just you're just not good at the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you love the original games, you'll love this one for sure. Even if you didn't play the original games, you'll probably really enjoy them too. I think this is one of those sport games that appeals to everybody. You know what I mean? It's not Madden or NBA 2K or something like that.
Definitely, especially compared to Skate as well, because Skate 3 is the one skating game that I've played, and I played quite a lot of Skate 3.
Yeah,
and this is a lot more. I know people have obviously been saying this for a long time, but it's a lot more arcadey
Yeah,
than
I was
skate.
about to say that. Yeah, it's very arcadey.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's easy just to put your hand in your controller. No, put a controller in your hand and just have fun with it. That's really all it is. It's. So did you guys mess with Create Your Park or anything like that yet?
I did a little bit. Yeah.
How's that?
That's quite fun. The controls are really good, I think, for that. Like it's you can be very precise because a lot of these sort of level builder things in games, they can be a bit finicky. But with this, I think with this, they've really made it easy to be quite precise in where you're placing things, and you very quickly sort of get a vision of what you want to build.
Yeah.
And you can build some really cool stuff.
Yeah. And how much how deep is it? Like, is how much can you really get into building the park, or is it just kind of just thrown in there?
Well, it gives you basically a big open area.
Yeah.
And a lot of, rails and ramps and stuff that you can use. And yeah, I mean, you can get pretty in depth, like you can overlap things and you can, I haven't really done much with it. I made a couple ramps, like that sort of thing, but, I haven't messed around. There's these things you can place called smart objects that let you, I think, manipulate the actual items.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't messed around with those, but they seem like they'll add quite a lot of customization to it.
Yeah, I saw somebody on Twitter make a roller coaster out of the rails.
That was one of the developers. They made that.
That's crazy. That's pretty fun.
Yeah. I've actually played that one. You need to keep mashing triangle to grind because it keeps putting you on new rails. So, but yeah, no, that's a cool one.
Yeah, and a trick to gain a lot of points is, if you can do it, is get a handstand on the side of a ramp or something. He'll put his arm up and do a handstand.
Yeah, I've done that accidentally.
You get a lot of points doing that. Now, there's always a cheat that we know that if you play the old school games, if you put the cheat on, you can do that unlimited. So you can sit there and just get 5 to 100,000 points and just do a handstand for 20 minutes. It's a good cheap way to. So. I mean, I'm not.
Yeah, I just wouldn't want to take the feeling of satisfaction.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, it's good for if you're grinding for something.
Sure,
because you can buy.
Yeah, I'm glad that James played it because I have not done the creator thing at all.
Yeah.
I want to tackle online and tackle multiplayer for sure before I complete my review. But I wanted to get that single player campaign whatever you want to call it, completely done first.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, I can't say because I don't want to make you affect your review or anything. But I heard multiplayer is not that great. I heard that's the biggest problem in the game right now. But yeah. So
I hadn't heard anything.
Yeah, I don't want to get too much in depth because I don't want to influence you at all. So
I haven't messed around with the multiplayer at all, so I can't speak to it.
Okay.
But.
Well, it's too late, Seb. I'm corrupted. Somebody else.
That was the biggest negative I've seen in reviews, but I haven't tried it yet, so I couldn't tell you. But
yeah, that makes sense. I obviously, as a reviewer, I'm trying to limit my amount of reviews from the outside. I almost watched the IGN one, but then I realized I probably shouldn't.
The IGN one was so good though. Once you finish your review, I'd recommend watching it because they got this Australian guy, and he's you can tell he's a surfer or a skater, and he's in his 30s, and they got the perfect guy to do it. You can just tell this guy's been through stuff.
What are you talking about? Every Australian is a surfer / skater. What are you talking about?
Mitch,
it's
in our national.
It's in our blood.
Yeah, Mitch.
You just got back from the beach, right, Mitch?
Yeah.
Is that why you didn't want to go on camera? Are you sunburned?
Oh yeah, no.
Are you sunburned?
He doesn't want to show off his beach bod.
Yeah.
Yes, my beach. No, I've got sandal throughout my hair. I've got it spilling out of my ears and everything.
You probably put us all to shame.
Yeah, absolutely. In all honesty, though, I think if I touched a skateboard right now, I'd probably land flat on my ass and just completely just have myself out of commission for a day or two. No, but I think on the review you're talking about, Seb, he's actually a really he's probably IGN's go-to guy for racing games and skating games like this, and he's probably one of the better reviewers on there, just because he has personality mixed in with his criticism and points. So yeah,
because there's been times where IGN's gotten the wrong person. They got Ryan McCaffrey reviewing NBA 2K. I'm like, I don't think this guy's ever watched really.
Well, I mean, yeah, that guy also reviewed Death Stranding, which I have no idea why.
No, that's a
just
weird
because
choice.
They have. I know
yeah,
they
it's
have
like you get a.
I know IGN's had problems with that in the past. Like they got Greg Miller when he was there to review a FIFA game, and he doesn't know the first thing about that sort of thing. But I wouldn't have imagined they'd still have that issue, being one of the biggest outlets. But I don't know.
I don't know why you would get a guy all about racing and high speeds to review a game about walking. It's just it seems
slowest
very
game
counterintuitive.
It's the slowest game.
Yeah, it's very absolutely, yeah.
All right, yeah. Like I said, I was really into skating culture growing up, but I was never a skater. I was always riding a bike or something. I was more.
Yeah.
That's all we did back in the day was ride bikes. So, but we all dressed that way though. All right, let's move on to Avengers. Now this, I guess, was there a round table or war table, whatever it's called, war table?
Yeah, there was a war table earlier this week, which I think like the main 2 points were were obviously for one, they altered what they were going to show just due to the unfortunate passing of Chadwick Boseman. So I guess we know that Black Panther is also coming to the game, but
no surprise.
The hero they did reveal. Yeah, and the hero they did reveal was Kate Bishop, which I'm honestly more excited to play than Hawkeye, just because she seems to have a bit of a personality.
Oh yeah, but, Hawkeye is generic.
Yeah,
very generic.
But I think I will say though is that because they actually had story cutscenes and stuff in the trailer, so I reckon if they can if they actually put some effort into their free content drops, then I think I'd be more than happy to keep getting on board and playing the game if they actually put some effort into it and not just have recycled content like Destiny or something like that.
For sure. Now, let's jump into the campaign. Like I'm about 3 hours in. I can say right now the campaign's fire. Like it's really good. I'm really enjoying it.
So whereabouts are you up to? Like what? Like
I'm
vague, I guess you can. Like what?
Well, I'm where the demo was, where the Bruce Banner and Kamala are together, like in the woods, and you're going to the base.
Oh, okay. So you're just up to that part.
Yeah.
Or are you? Yeah.
Which seems pretty. It's not far in, but it's like I played a good 3 hours, and I got in.
Yeah, you're about a third into the campaign, I'd say.
Yeah, and I would say she's the best character in the game so far. Like,
oh, absolutely,
she has the best personality.
Kamala is
Like I think
Kamala's the heart and soul of this game.
No, definitely. And when they first said she was going to be in the game, I thought it was just a weird choice to have her matched with the Avengers, but it makes sense now because like you said, she's the heart and soul of the game. Like she's the one that is going to unite everybody together. So.
I think from the beginning, I sort of figured that, okay, she's, like, considering, her personality, she's a giant Avengers superfan, so they're obviously going to have her as the audience insert. And, I mean, I actually, predicted months ago, I forget where, but I actually predicted months ago that, it's not really a spoiler, but it's like the beginning of the game, you play as Kamala, walking around at the A-Day event and meeting all the heroes. Like that's how you get introduced to all the heroes for this first time, which I think is an excellent way to introduce the characters.
Yeah.
Like I think the Thor introduction she has was really well done. Same with Captain America and Black Widow and all that. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. The demos pretty much captured a lot of parts in the game already. Like the introduction scene was pretty much the Zag demo.
Can
I ask you guys a question then?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sure.
Specifically, like, so based on the beta that they did, the combat was still the highlight, but it was still maybe on par. It wasn't. I wouldn't say it was anything incredible. Like, is it? But I've been seeing a lot of positive impressions. So, like, is it any better in the full release?
It's pretty much the same.
I'm only about. Yeah, I mean, I'm only about like 12 hours in, and I think the character I've leveled up the most is Kamala, and she's only like level 12 or 13, so
Yeah.
I haven't really, got into the skill trees that much. But
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
through looking at like some of the like different skill pages, I think it's more like once you get all the moves and combos and stuff, it's more about like sort of min-maxing your min-maxing your like sort of play style and your kit. So you've got like, you can say, okay, well, I want my attack to, boost my health, or I want them to give me like this stat and all that. So it's fun for sure, but I think definitely like with some of the shielded enemies in particular, it's very button, like it's very I guess you can't really say bullet spongy, but it's very like damage.
Yeah.
So I guess a better framing for that would be like the combat scenarios then, because I suppose the combat scenarios are probably what would make or break the combat.
The what?
Yeah,
I didn't catch that.
Like combat scenarios.
Yeah, the combat scenarios, like the placements of enemies and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'll put
pretty much the same.
I'll put it this way: if you didn't really care for the demo, you're probably not gonna care for this. Like honestly. But the story's good though. Like,
well, that's the thing though. Like, I thought most people didn't care for the demo. Yeah, but now people seem pretty hot on it.
I think it's because the story adds like more, like there's more sneaking parts of the game, and there's more story elements that all tie in, and so the pacing's really good. So you kind of forget that you're doing the demo part.
The pacing is
the
pacing's pretty excellent for the whole story. To be honest, like I think it's surprisingly enough, like this absolutely sets the new bar for games as a service stories. Like it's not even close.
Yeah,
I think because they
not
actually
that saying much, but
it's yeah, no, but it's
you're right though. You're right.
But it's like they actually they pay attention to characters and set piece. Like it's very cinematic and linear in that sense. So like it's like a 10-hour like mini series or story. It's like a movie basically, where they don't like there's multiple occasions where they put story over gameplay, if that makes sense. So instead of so it's, which I mean I really liked, and obviously it complements the war zones and multiplayer stuff that you get later on. So yeah.
What about the bad guy? What's his name? Modus or something? Modok, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Modok.
So I'm going to get butchered for that. What? How's he though? How's he?
I'll let Seb start because he's.
Well, I've only gotten like I can't even say it's a spoiler, I guess, even though it's kind of in the beginning of the game. But he hasn't transformed into MODOK yet, but he's like on his way. He's a big brain, so he has like pretty.
You see it in the trailer. There's see it in the trailer. There's like a scene where he's in a car with Kamala and his head's all starting to get big. Yeah. But I think, as vague as possible, I think he's both a good villain and a really meh villain.
Yeah.
Just because they don't, I think, I don't want to necessarily spoil it or anything, but it's like I think they don't pay enough time to him and his motivations. Like it's kind of unclear once you get further into the game and you unravel more of the story and characters, that it's kind of like his part in everything is kind of muddled, and you're like, wait, so was he really, this and that the whole time, or was he just sort of, playing along? But
that's the problem, and the good thing about picking up not obscure, but he's not like Loki level Thanos popularity. So is that if you don't do it right, they can be uninteresting compared to like a bigger villain.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say it's I'd say this for pretty much all of the characters except for Kamala. Really, is that like they set up such like unique, but like such distinct and interesting arcs and characteristics for all of the characters. Like except they never really fully deliver on them.
Yeah. No.
Like I think.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Like in one of the very first cutscenes he's introduced, and you can tell like he still hasn't fully gotten past. Like he's still very narcissistic and he's still very full of himself. And the game doesn't really fully like put a nice bow on it.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like by the end of the campaign they sort of reach a conclusion, and like there's a point where it's like the writers are saying to you, hey look, he's resolved his arc to his grown, but you don't really feel that. Yeah. Like because they love to. I mentioned it earlier, but like there's one very specific instance which I won't spoil, even though it's in the trailers, where two characters get into a confrontation, and just as you think, okay, we're gonna like play out that confrontation, it instead shifts to Kamala, and you don't actually get to see that confrontation at all. You just continue her story on her own. And whilst it was a good beat for Kamala, it came at the expense of actually getting to see that confrontation and each of the characters' arcs sort of resolved properly. They just sort of like in the next cutscene, it's like, yeah, okay, sorry, man, let's just move on, I guess.
Yeah. Now I'll say one thing. I actually, to this point, I've enjoyed the main cast. Like when they first introduced them, I thought they looked terrible, and they didn't sound like it looked like it wanted to be the MCU, but it looked like a cheap version of them. Like a Lifetime movie version of them. But once the game started, I didn't even think about it. I was like, oh yeah, I believe that's Thor. I believe that's Captain America. So I'm glad that happened, because that was one of my biggest concerns going in, that they were just going to feel like Lifetime movie versions of the characters. Yeah, the
marketing didn't do this game any favors.
No, not at all.
Really.
That's probably the biggest problem with it.
Yeah. I absolutely adored this game's Bruce Banner, voiced by Troy Baker, just because they actually, I wouldn't say they nailed like his personality, but they really delved into his own struggles with his two, obviously Bruce Banner and the Hulk, and the sort of conflict between that.
Yeah.
And they linked it to Kamala's arc in a really nice way.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be much of it. I don't think it'd be much of a spoiler to say like they sort of have like a mentor-mentee relationship throughout the game, and that resolves in a really nice way.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sure. I really enjoy Bruce Banner in this game to this point. I think Troy Baker did a great job with him. Now, I could probably give more like next week, but it's hard. It's kind of really hard to judge a game in 3 hours. But
what do you guys think of like the cosmetics and the customization then? Where based on how far you've got so far, because like Mitch, I assume you're past the campaign now and into the end game, where there's presumably more loot and that sort of thing.
The loot's still terrible. Like it is exactly the same as the beta. I haven't gone into like high power level gear yet, but it's possible. Like I think I'm definitely getting to the point where I can start to actually get gear, because you can actually purchase gear now, so you can start to fully actually get the gear you want instead of just randomized stuff. But it's still, I don't mind the fact that it's not cosmetic, but I think the fact that in the menu at least all the gear items look the exact same and their names aren't distinct at all. So to the point where you're just looking at the stats and you're going, okay, I'm looking for gear that gives me more melee damage or something like, and I don't really care for the perks. The cosmetics though are really good. I gotta say, like, it's got me excited, and some of the cosmetics are saying like, okay, I want to grind for that skin, and I want to grind for that skin.
I haven't really gone into the cosmetics yet because I'm only a couple hours in, but one thing I did get my first set of armor, and obviously it didn't show on the character, which was disappointing. Like at all. That's more like that's like multiplayer kind of stuff. I think it's not really campaign focused. Also, another thing I don't like is the arbitrary numbers. Like when you punch something, numbers come up. I just don't like, where does that come? Like, how does that factor? How does that doesn't really? Like, it wants to be an RPG. I don't get thing. Just let it be a beat 'em up. It doesn't have to be an RPG.
I feel like if they took away the damage numbers, like if they had it exactly like God of War, where they didn't have damage numbers and they just had the health bars, that'd be a lot better.
That's what I'm saying.
But I think the fact that it's a multiplayer RPG, it's a not a necessary evil, but it's a necessary evil, especially like when you're playing with buddies online, that you need to have those damage numbers, which is annoying, but
because all you're really going to be doing is, you get a new set of armor. Oh, that one's better. You put that on. You never even look at the other one again. You're just gonna be equipping the best armor, and it's gonna be the whole game, like pretty much.
I think the end game, but like besides some of the I guess you could say, light story content they have at the end of it for the end game.
Yeah.
It's very much, it seems, at least for me, it seems more driven towards getting cosmetics rather than getting higher gear levels and stuff. Because like currently all of the like high power level missions reward these powers which let you unlock a random cosmetic for someone. So yeah, that seems to be where it's heading.
Right. So, Mitch, do you think you will keep playing until you get to the end of the end game, so to speak, and B, do you think you'll go back for the new characters and the add-on DLCs that they release?
Absolutely for both. Yeah, I'm sitting here now like, oh, I could really go back to some Avengers, but like I pretty much just stopped right as I started the end game content. Like I finished the campaign. I'm like, all right, look, I'm pretty tired and I'll keep playing tomorrow. But I think there's because they each of the characters has like their own side mission chain. So they've got like little prescribed side missions for each of them. So I'm really, I guess you'd say, interested to see how those play out and whether they're actually, quality content and not just some crappy missions that they recycle with assets. But yeah, I'm hopeful for the game post launch. I guess you can say that with what I've experienced so far. Yeah.
My concern with the game is I'm gonna really dig the campaign, but then like when I get to the mission structure, the multiplayer, I'm not gonna really enjoy it that much. So hopefully I can find some friends or whoever wants to play, and maybe I can enjoy that through like playing with friends instead of doing it myself. Otherwise, but I just hope there's more to it than just like fighting robots. That's like my concern. Like I really hope they.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No. I was just gonna say, yeah, I definitely agree with you. There are they do have human enemies in there, but they're
the soldiers.
They're just basically recycles of the same.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
Like you still have the shield guys, you still have the aerial guys, you still have the basic drones, and you've got the kamikaze ones. Yeah. So yeah, yeah.
Because what this game should be is like a villain. Like let's say they can't do this obviously, but like say like, oh, this mission has venom, and then you have to go fight symbiote like monsters, and then you fight venom at the end, or you have to capture something creative like that. Oh, here the next one is Green Goblin. Next one is maybe Galactus. So, I don't know, but like you can do all creative things like that. I don't think they're gonna do that though. I don't think they're
absolutely. I think the thing that really worried me in the beta, and definitely disappointed for the final game, is that because in the beta I noticed they have this sort of codex area where you can look at bios for enemies and stuff, and for the villains section it only had 6 options. So I'm like, I really hope they don't only have 6 bosses in the main game, and they only have 6 bosses in the main game. And the only interesting ones have Taskmaster and Abomination. They've already been revealed, as well as MODOK. So the rest of the bosses are just robots, and it's that's. So I hope the post-launch content sort of expands on that and gives us actual good villains. But I think the villains offerings in the main game is pretty disappointing.
Yeah, I don't know how hard it is to do this, but I think what people were looking for was something like a Marvel Ultimate Alliance. In that, but in a third person action, but in that style of third person action, and just have all multiple characters and villains.
I think in wanting to tell a more focused cinematic story, they kind of let all the villains fall by the wayside. I think it makes sense why they only had the Abomination and MODOK and whatnot as the villains for the game, because if they added anything else, it would be really unfocused and messy. But at the same time, as a result, it's adversely affected the end game and what they can do in that.
At the end of the day, that's my ultimate point with this game is that I'm really enjoying the campaign. So I just wish that was the main focus of the game. I really wish this was a Sony cinematic 15-20 hour game instead of just making a service game, because I feel like the service is going to feel tacked on because everybody's digging the campaign. The consensus I've seen is that everybody's really digging the campaign, but no one's really enjoying the multiplayer that much. No one's really digging the mission structure that much. Everybody finds it kind of repetitive.
Oh
yeah. So
definitely
they should have just stuck with making it like Spider-Man PS4, something like that.
Yeah, I hope it all just lies on how often they update the game with new content. Like, I mean, I think the War Table said that they're gonna have like on weekends they're gonna have this like leave or horde sort of like mode, like mission or whatever that people can grind like for high gear and stuff. But it just depends on how often they update the game with new content and characters and such. Because if there's like 2 months between releases and stuff, then people are gonna leave.
For sure.
Yeah.
We gotta start moving on, but yeah, like they just if they just continuously update it and just give us like maybe a new villain, a new cool storyline, mission structure that everybody can like just party up and just do together, that'd be great. But if it's like like you said, if it's like months away and you're just getting the same villains, this game isn't gonna last. You know, the Avengers name really always does so much. You know. So
exactly.
So let's move on. So the next 3 topics are very PS5 focused, because there's not really much going on outside of these game releases, but there's a couple bit of news. First of all, Ubisoft pretty much confirmed that PS5 wasn't going to be backwards compatible with the PS1, PS2, and PS3. Like, we all probably figured that anyway, but it's nice to have a confirmation.
I think deep down we all kind of acknowledge that there'd be no way. Like, because if they're only having like 100 PS4 titles backwards compatible at launch, there's no way in hell they're going to have like PS3 and PS2 and PS1 titles. Yeah,
and Sony already showed it. Like, when he did that like boring, console dive that everybody couldn't. He's throwing tech stuff at you. They already showed that.
Hey man, that was fun. I like that.
Yeah, but either way,
I will take an hour of Mark Cerny talking about tech stuff any day. I watched it twice.
Wow.
Okay. Twice. Wow.
Twice. I watched it twice.
Considering
and I would watch it again.
That doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me that you found the Gamescom thing interesting. Then, if you found that interesting,
you'll find I'm very easily amused. But no, I liked the Gamescom stream.
Yeah.
I think there was some interesting stuff in there.
My problem with this though is, like, as much as I expected it, there's no reason PS Now can't have PS1, PS2, PS3 games. You know what I mean? It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's easy money right there. I don't know why they can't.
They don't have any.
PS Now. Yeah, PS Now only has PS3 games that you have to stream. If you have shitty you can't even.
Is there a way that you could do that though? Because PS1, PS2 maybe, but PS1 doesn't have any sort of internet connectivity. Yeah, so how would they stream the games?
You don't have to stream the games, because in PS4 you can just download them right to the console. So they allow you to download PS2 games to the console.
But those are ones that have been ported.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can make ports of those games and then put it on the service. Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
there's no reason they can't do that if they really wanted to. But I mean,
sure. I guess money is probably the main motivator.
You can always do an emulator too. I mean, a $200 computer can emulate something, play a PS1 game. There's really no excuse. They just don't do it. They just don't care. Because backwards compatibility is one of those things that the internet complains about and wants, but then you look at the numbers and very little people actually use it. It's a vocal minority, a extreme vocal minority. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Actually, it's a great thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not on the side of like we shouldn't have backwards compatibility, but it really isn't like Sony's main concern at all.
Because that's like it's one of the things. Yeah. It's one of them things everyone wants, but nobody uses.
Yeah, because most people don't play games that are 20-something years old. They just don't. They say they do, but most people don't. Most people want to play Avengers or Tony Hawk or something like that. So, yeah, so it's not a big deal, but yeah.
It would be nice to have the option to go back and play the Resistance games, I will say.
Yeah.
I mean, I can do it on my PS3, but it'd be much easier to just do it on the PS5.
It still sucks to play PS3 games streaming wise, like on the PS Now, because it's like, even with good internet, it's just not reliable, especially with a shooter.
Yeah, I tried playing Red Dead Redemption on PS Now. I gave up after like 5 minutes.
I get why, because the architecture is so different, but the cell processing and all that. But yeah, they can do it. They just don't care. I think that's what it is. They're just not their concern right now.
So there's not a profit.
Personally, I never had any expectation of them doing this. I figured it wouldn't happen anyway, so I'm not really let down. It doesn't really bother me.
It doesn't bother me either. But there's no.
I was on the side of I hope it happens, but I doubt it will.
Yeah. For sure. You got anything to add, Mitch, about this?
No, I mean, look, as someone who doesn't have PS Now available, I can't really speak to it. Yeah, no, because friggin' Australia's internet, or no, the Australian government doesn't think internet and high-speed internet isn't important, but whatever.
Yeah.
But no, I'd love to have PS Now, and I think if it's to the same quality and availability as, like, say, Xbox Game Pass, then I'd be more than happy.
Yeah.
I'd be more than happy to pay the subscription. Yeah. No, but I think on like PS2 games and all that, there's tons of classic PlayStation games that I've missed out on, and I hope, like, if there's any way that we can either emulate it or, you know, somehow port it over to PS4 or PS5, I'd be more than happy to pay whatever.
And the thing is, they put up several PS2 games on PS4, and then they just stopped doing it. Like they really haven't done any new PS2 games in quite a while. Because they have like San Andreas and Dark Cloud and things like that. But
yeah, like they've got like some of the like Code Veronica and all that, and because I still want to play like classic Oh, it's a remaster, but it's still, you know, some form of Code Veronica that's on PS4 compared to. Compared to
those games,
classic Resi 3 and 2 and all that.
The thing is, those games are not even remasters. They're just straight up ports. They look just like PS2 games.
Oh, yeah, so they are ports.
Yeah, they're exact direct ports. Yeah.
The thing is,
I mean, I'm fine with that though,
Yeah.
I don't claim to know much about this kind of thing. But I know that technology, as it advances, it gets smaller. So I imagine somewhere down the line, after the PS5, they'll get to a point where the PS1, 2, 3 chipsets are, you know, small enough and cheap enough where they could just put them on the consoles, and solve the issue that way.
And they might be able to do it now. Like I said, I just don't think they care. Well, I have 3, I understand, but 1,
it would maybe still be too expensive to be realistic now. But
But in terms of PlayStation Now, it actually has a ton of games on there. It's actually way more than Game Pass. The only difference is Game Pass is better because it puts games right on like day one, like brand new games. PS Now doesn't do that.
Yeah.
They only put a limited. They put like God of War on there, but it's only there for like 4 months, kind of thing. And that's like a year later.
Which is telling of like their strategy, I think, because Xbox is very much Microsoft. They're pushing subscription services and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But PlayStation wants to maintain, you know, they want people to buy the product first and foremost.
But
I think
go ahead, Mitch.
Sorry, I was just going to say with Microsoft quickly. I think I heard someone say, and I mean it's very true, that with this new console generation, Microsoft isn't so much pushing, you know, a new, you know, console and threshold into a new level of gaming and hardware and all that. They're really just selling a subscription service.
Yeah, I mean,
like, it's just Well,
the thing is, PS Now is they're not gonna put their games day one on there ever, but we don't know what they're gonna do with the PS5 version of PS Now. Like they might change the whole service. Maybe they want to compete with Game Pass. They haven't really said anything about it yet. Like we just don't know yet.
It'd be the absolute best time to sort of completely redo the PS Now model and have it exactly like Game Pass, because it's been proven to be highly successful for Microsoft, and PlayStation definitely need to get on it at some point.
Because what they could, like, I don't know why they don't do this, is I don't know why they can't put their first party games that are like 2-3 years like after, you know what I mean? Like put Uncharted 4 on there, put like God of War, and leave it on there, Horizon, because these are games like $5-10. They're in the bargain bin now.
I was gonna say, like, you go, James.
It's Game Pass is a slippery slope for me, because I say that I use it mainly for games that I wouldn't ordinarily buy, and just to try them.
That's what I do.
But I always say to myself, when there's a game coming out on Game Pass that I am 100% going to play either way, I say, okay, I'll buy it because I would buy it anyway, and then I don't. I just play it on Game Pass because I've got it. And I like owning games, so it's like a slippery slope in that way. So I kind of like, I kind of like the way that PlayStation does it at the moment, just because I'm weird, not because it's a better model.
Yeah.
But you know,
the thing is, the thing with those kind of services though is I'll get it just for like 1 or 2 games, but the rest of the games are just like these obscure indie games that I would never touch, even if you gave it to me for free. Like most of the games on Game Pass have no interest to me. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I think at the same time though, like on the indie point, I think it's like services like Game Pass, like maybe not necessarily for you, but for like other people, it can be the best way for indie developers to get like recognition. Like Carrion, I wouldn't have touched Carrion.
True.
Especially seeing as it's not on PS4, I wouldn't have touched it if it wasn't on Game Pass.
That's fair.
And like same with a bunch of other like smaller indie titles. Like I think it being on a subscription service like Game Pass sort of helps get it some recognition.
But the other concern is making, as people call it, Game Pass fodder, where they just make the game knowing that it's going to be on the service and it's not that great, and they kind of just throw it on there. You know what I mean? Oh, we got paid already. You know what I mean? So here's the game.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what Battletoads is. Like it's just okay. We're done.
I think that's just
throw it on there.
I think that's just with any subscription service. So like same with Netflix, same with Disney Plus, with anything. It's there's always going to be fodder content and stuff. So
yeah.
One thing I will say,
I probably wouldn't have gotten Fall Guys if it wasn't on PS Plus, or I, as wary as I am of Avengers and the kind of game as a live service that it's promoting, even if it's got a great campaign, and even though I love Kamala, especially having read a lot of G. Willow Wilson's runs on Marvel, if they had that on PS Plus, I'd absolutely play Avengers. I would check it out, right? But I just can't justify it for $60 right now. I'm just too skeptical, and I'm just financially.
That's understandable. That's understandable. I mean, I didn't.
Yeah, in that way, the subscription services are a good answer to the increasing cost of games and how expensive the hobby is. One thing I do think that PlayStation needs to address, and they're stupid for having not done this already. They need to rename PS Now, because there's such a stigma around how PS Now used to be, because PS Now used to be streaming only.
Yeah.
So people, because the name is still the same and it has this bad reputation, people don't know that you can download PS4 games now. So people still think, oh no, I don't want to get that. I don't want to stream my games.
Yeah.
So I think by not changing the name, they've really sort of killed themselves. They've shot themselves in the foot. Like I had to tell my friend recently, I said, hey, this game is on PS Now. He said, oh, I'm going to play this game. And I said, this game is on PS Now. And he said, oh yeah, but I don't want to stream it. So I know there are at least some people out there who still think that it's just a streaming only service.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
They have
backwards compatibility.
They're not marketing it well, because I don't know. No. I think it's doing decently well, so I don't think they really feel like the need to really change it. But I have to find the number. Maybe next week I'll find it.
I think the thing. Oh, sorry, Dory. I think the thing with Xbox and why Game Pass is so successful is that they're promoting it right alongside all their titles. Like I think with their showcase last month, they said, or in July they said, like all of the games you're about to see are on Game Pass, and then for pretty much every trailer at the very end it had the Game Pass logo to basically drill into people. Yeah, it's like Game Pass is the thing. Also, I think the thing that makes it super successful is that their first party titles launched their day one, like same date with everything else. So it gives more of an incentive to actually buy in. Because like otherwise I wouldn't probably have gotten like Gears 5 and other games.
Yeah.
If it wasn't the Game Pass.
I mean, I do.
I still enjoy the hell out of those games, but
I know what you mean. Although I do think it's weird that games are exclusive to PC and not on Xbox, like Gears Tactics and Flight Simulator. That's not even on Xbox. That's kind of weird. Called Xbox Game Pass.
I think you have to consider as well the fact that PlayStation has a much larger user base than Xbox does this generation.
For sure.
So
or any generation.
So the fact that they're at 2.2 million and Xbox is at 10 million, like that is a larger margin than the numbers indicate.
Yeah. That's for sure. So The Witcher 3 is getting a free next gen update. I think Doom Eternal is doing it too.
I think a lot of games, I know Avengers is as well, and No, is Assassin's Creed Valhalla doing it? I don't. I know
it's
Ubisoft
but
probably not.
CD Projekt has definitely been the most sort of generous about it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Cyberpunk, and they've definitely been the most generous about it with like Cyberpunk and The Witcher.
Yeah.
With giving it away for free, like because The Witcher is quite an old game at this point. It's 5 years old, so they could definitely probably get away with making you buy it again. But
for sure.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, look what people did with Switch. They bought that game like crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it's portable, but people love that game so much. The thing is, I just beat it this year on PC for the second time, so I have no reason to replay this game again. So I have zero interest in playing this again on PS5. So
yeah, I mean, I've played it once, but I have so little time to replay huge RPGs like that. So I don't think I would ever go back and replay it.
Yeah. What about you, Mitch? You gonna play this?
I mean, I haven't played it, but I think depending on if it's going to be like for a lesser price on PS5 or it's going to be like the full $60 price, then I still haven't played it yet. So I reckon either way, with the added ray tracing and graphical ability, I think I'd definitely get into it.
So you never played it?
So yeah.
Let me give you a hot tip, and everyone listening to this, I'm going to give you a scoop, right? They don't want to know this, right? This is a secret, okay? Between you and me, The Witcher 3 goes on sale regularly on the PS Store.
Sure.
For very, very so if you go and net a bit there, then you can get the next for very cheap.
That is true. That is true. I've definitely looked at the complete edition a few times. And I'm like, oh, I could, buy in right now, but at the same time, I think there's other things that call my wallets towards them. But yeah, no, you're definitely right on that. Same with PS5. Yeah.
So you've never played The Witcher 3?
No, not PS5, GTA 5. Sorry?
You've never played The Witcher 3?
I have not.
Wow. That's crazy.
I know.
It's like a top 5 game of this generation.
It's weird. Like when I got it, I got it on a whim or at Christmas one time. I bought it, and I tried it for about an hour, and it wasn't clicking with me, so I put it down. And then I tried it a year later, and then I played the same opening and everything, the exact same. I went from the start again, and it clicked almost instantly, which is bizarre. But I've actually heard a few stories like that. I think that's the case for a few people. Which I don't think that happens with a lot of games.
Yeah. No, it clicked to me right away, personally, but the combat is not great, and it's the worst part of the game for sure. But the story is so good that you just forget that the combat's
I mean, I hear a lot of criticisms about the about the combat. Like everyone's always, the combat's rubbish. But I mean, honestly, like I didn't think it was that, like, it wasn't the best part about the game, obviously, but I didn't think it was that bad. Like, I thought it was fun.
It wasn't awful, but it definitely the worst part of the game.
And it's just a lot of hacking and slashing, really. There's not a whole lot of variation in there. I mean, even that, like, I think the hacking and slashing in itself is satisfying enough.
For sure. All right. Would you guys be upset if the PS5 got delayed? Are you getting it day one?
Yes.
I will not be, personally, because I mean I can live without not having it at the end of this year if it means that like I don't see why it would be delayed, but if it does, I'm not going to be heartbroken over it. I've still got tons of PS4 games to play, but I think like economically, I don't think Sony can afford to not to miss out on the holiday season. But because it's not a Switch thing where they launched it in March or anything. It's just another PlayStation. But personally,
and that's why they're doing a limited batch as opposed to delaying.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would be disappointed because I plan on getting it day one. But the thing is, like, I mean, you guys think the Xbox is gonna delay it? Like, people bring because people have been talking about that recently because they don't really have a good launch lineup right now at all. So.
Honestly, I don't see the Series X selling well at all because it looks it just looks like a recycled Xbox One with higher hardware. Not to mention, as I said earlier, all their games and subscription stuff are going to be on Xbox One and PC also. So there's no they are giving no reason for consumers to buy it, unlike the PS5.
Yeah, I want to just point out, I probably wouldn't be disappointed either. I'm also not getting it day one. We talked about this on an earlier podcast.
Yep.
But yeah, so I have no interest in it day one. I'd rather they work out any kinks or issues and stuff with the console or whatever, get a few updates through, and then maybe I'll think about buying it in 2021.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
plus there will still be some great titles that'll be available on the PS4. It's not like I need to make the switch immediately or else I have nothing to play.
What do we know that's coming out like November, December? Like we know Kena, we know Miles Morales.
Ratchet & Clank is a launch window title. They said. I don't know what constitutes a launch window.
I think that's spring.
I think we kind of not agreed last week, but I think we kind of mentioned that like it'd probably be Sony's like February, like Q1 title. That'd be their big Q1 title. But
that's what it means. Like Demon Souls is probably could be January, it could be June kind of thing.
I would call Demon Souls late 2021.
Is it launch window?
Yeah, they haven't really shown much. Yeah.
I think it's launch window. I don't know.
Did they say? I don't remember them saying launch window. I think.
But what do you guys think? Do you guys think it would be smart for them to delay the Xbox? Not that I know we're getting onto Xbox a little bit.
No, it can be released to PS5. So.
Because the PlayStation, the PlayStation, they've got launch titles and everything, but Xbox, they've delayed Halo. Do you guys? Because there have been generations in the past where the two consoles haven't launched in the same year.
Yeah,
and I think they've still done okay. Like, what didn't the PS3 and the Xbox 360 launch
2 different years
in separate years? Yeah,
yes, they did.
Yeah.
Although that did hurt the PS3, but I mean the price of the PS3 hurt it more, but it did hurt the PS3.
Yeah, the PS3 hurt itself.
And that happened with the Nintendo 64 and the PS1, I believe. The PS1 came out a year earlier, and PS1 destroyed Nintendo.
So I guess the question is then, what would hurt them more? Having a staggered launch where they launch a year after PlayStation, or launching with no launch titles?
I feel like it's better if they just launch it, even if the games are dry, because if it would look really bad if they had to delay it and then PS5 comes out with a banger with Miles Morales.
That's just admitting. That's basically just admitting.
It's pretty much. I mean, PS5 was going to win anyway, but that'd be game over. Like
Look, I think irrelevant of the titles, not irrelevant of the titles, but I think irrelevant of the Halo Infinite delay, the Series X was always going to fail. Like, not fail bomb, but it's like at least compared to Sony, because they're not offering anything new of substance.
Right.
Not to mention that the console is basically just a brick.
Yeah.
It looks like a brick.
Yeah, and only that with Halo Infinite, that game is like not. It might even come out next year. It might come out like 2022 because they're getting a whole. They're getting a whole new creator in there. They're the guy that worked on the original game, and that game is probably getting blown up. I think. Like So
Halo Infinite looks good, but it doesn't look good.
Yeah, because
that makes sense.
It looks fun. Yeah, because if I'm Xbox, I'd rather have a dry lineup than have Halo come out and it's a disaster, and then you just get negative publicity. And it's all the whole conversation around Xbox is, this game is not that great. This was supposed to be your heavy hitter, and this is not what it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that would have been the conversation.
I think
go ahead.
Yeah, I think as I mentioned earlier, I think Microsoft's generosity with Game Pass and not restricting players, like not restricting games to just be exclusive to like one console or something, will be their downfall, because because I think that with Halo Infinite, it's like in trying to make it available for both Xbox One and PC, they're actively limiting what they can do with the Series X version.
Yeah. I agree.
Because it has to also accommodate to Xbox One.
Even somebody like Ryan McCaffrey came out and said the same thing. Like, because they're putting their game on an Xbox One, like the original one, on the 2013 console. That even then it was outdated in hardware. You know what I mean? So it's 7 years ago. Like, that's crazy.
It's
it
7-year-old
showed.
hardware, so yeah.
Because Halo Infinite, like the game
absolutely.
was like popping, like the backgrounds was popping, the lighting was bad, there was no movement in the grass.
Yeah.
It was just bad. It was stagnant.
When you're half awake early in the morning and you can clearly see popping, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not trying to shit on Xbox or anything because this ties into PlayStation, but
yeah, for sure.
I agree.
I feel like the window that we're seeing seems to be up there among the best of the lineup because as you remember, PS4 kicked Xbox's ass in 2013, but the launch wasn't really that great. Like,
well, you say that, but the PS4 launch had knack. And the PS5 launch so far does not have knack.
But neither does the Xbox One have knack. That's the question.
Yeah, so
that's true.
That is
also
true.
What did the Xbox One launch with? What did the Xbox One launch with again?
Not knack. I can tell you that much.
That's a good question.
Because I mean, knowing them, it's like they obviously launched with like a Forza or something.
I remember Dead Rising 3 was one of them.
Yeah.
Dead Rise, Son of
Row Rise, yes.
That's it.
Which was pretty good. Which was pretty decent, actually.
I was like, well, I never played Rise. Wasn't that their sort of equivalent to The Order 1886?
Basically.
Yeah, but it's very linear though. It's like it's as linear as it gets. But it's kind of fun though, in a way. It's cinematic.
It's interesting. I should go back and play that at some point.
Yeah, it's only like a 5-hour game, so. Yeah. PS5 the launch window might be up there with the Switch. Like it's looking pretty good, and depending on how Miles Morales will do. I mean, I don't think Miles Morales is gonna get like a 96 on Metacritic. I'm sure it'll get in the 80s or something, but but it's still gonna be a big seller, and it's gonna be a good game. I'm sure it's not gonna be a masterpiece.
I'm still hoping that it's gonna be compatible with the PS4 because I'm not buying a PS5 just for Miles Morales.
Oh.
Yeah, I think the ray tracing and the 60 FPS 4K thing is saying to the contrary, but I think
we just don't.
I mean, like it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's
like I said,
nothing.
Mitch. I want to hope. I'm not. my hopes aren't high for it necessarily, but just mostly because I'm like, I don't have like a spare $600 on me. Sorry, Sony.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
If it even is $600 though.
Right.
I'm getting the all digital version, so I'm hoping that's cheaper.
I'm hoping. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely buying the digital version. I don't. Especially with the pandemic, I mean, but even outside of the pandemic, I think I'd get the digital version.
Yeah, like I think we're getting a show this month or next month of Sony's doing like one final event. Apparently, yeah. And then we got Tokyo Game Show coming out like the end of the month.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I don't know why Sony and like it's clear Sony and Microsoft are doing the same thing or are attempting to do the same thing they did in 2013, where Microsoft announced their price and then Sony came swooping in right after saying, well, it's like we've got a cheaper price, buy our console.
Yeah.
But I think their game of hide the zucchini is going to have to end at some point.
Right.
And the longer it goes on, it's actively hurting their pre-order sales and marketing.
Yeah, I think the prices are going to be about the same, so I don't think the price is going to matter as much. It's going to be more about the user base and the games.
Exactly. Yeah, like I think unless it's like something like, insane, like $700 to $800 then I don't think people are really going to care about the price, especially the digital console. And
I don't think that's impossible either. I think there's something up. Like the consoles never take this long to show a price, so I think something's up. It's like $600 is rough. For a console.
Yeah, it is, and I mean especially for Australian currency because we get uppriced as well. But
somebody your age too, right? So like you don't have $700 to throw around like that. I barely have something to throw around like that, so I had to save up for this. Trade in stuff and things like that. So
absolutely. So it's it's still going to be a tough sell, but I think people are going to look to Miles Morales and Kena and a bunch of other games and go, okay, I'm willing to invest for that stuff.
But we only know like 2 games right now, right? Like Miles Morales and Kena. Like that's pretty much like what we know is confirmed.
I think there's going to be a PS4 title as well as the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. You've still got Cyberpunk and all that stuff. Yeah.
I mean, NBA 2K and Madden are going to be big sellers, and FIFA and things like that.
Yeah.
That's what the PS4 was. The PS4 came out. It was Knack, Killzone, and then it was Madden, Assassin's Creed, and Call of Duty. So
We'll have quad as well this year, of course.
probably gonna be the same. I think. So yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, a PlayStation, what they could do is they could announce the price first, right, and then let Xbox announce their price, and maybe Xbox will come in and undercut them, but that's okay because then Sony can come in and say, okay, but we have NAC 3, and then they win.
What about action-based, Smithy? Are you sure you just don't want action-based too?
Action bass. Yeah.
Action bass. Sorry, it's pronounced bass in the States.
But they're
okay.
Or is it bass?
No, I don't know. I don't know. It's bass over here, but we have it's
awesome.
Action Bass was a long time ago. I would be surprised.
What's that?
If it would be a bold strategy to bring it back. It's never mind, Seb. It's okay. It's a fishing game. You don't need to know.
Oh, bass. Yeah, bass is correct.
Oh.
What was I gonna say? Damn, I forgot my train of thought now. PS5, like
that's the end of the podcast. Yeah,
See
you later.
Yeah, you don't need to. It seems like you really don't need to get a PS5 like day one. Really, like it's not. Maybe like 6 months later, like in June of next year, is when you should really start checking it out. But it's a good lineup, but it's not like. I mean, it's not like.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not phenomenal.
I think like oh, you go.
Sorry, Mitch. It's like I'm interested in Ratchet and Clank, but I'm not $500 and $500 to $600 interested.
Yeah.
And I'm totally really want to play Miles Morales, but I just can't justify the cost just to get if it is only PS5. And then Ken is the other big game, and I can play that on PS4. So yeah, I think you're right. I think I'm gonna probably my birthday's around the summer, so I'll probably wait till around my birthday.
Me too. Yeah. But with that said, I'm getting it day one because that's just how I am, and I'll have to carry this podcast for like the month.
I guess so. You just carry it on your.
For the next 6 months, I gotta carry this podcast on my back.
Like I think it's like I think me at least saying like Xbox is gonna fail isn't like out of like PlayStation's superior and whatnot, but it's like I legitimately think that Microsoft is being too nice. Like too consumer friendly, and it's gonna lead to their downfall.
I hate their kumbaya strategy, and it's not even like it's a fake strategy because it's like as soon as they say that, like then they say world premiere, world exclusive. You know what I mean? Like they say one thing and then it's the opposite. Like Phil Spencer says one thing, he's like kumbaya with everybody, and then Aaron Greenberg does the opposite. He's like, no, we have exclusives on our. You know what I mean? Like I don't see Halo on PS5, so.
Well, no, but it's like I feel like them also having PC opens up their user base so much more for like people who are like on PC. But no. What
I'm saying is, because I'm not trying to show on Xbox, because I do like some of their games and everything, and I like Phil Spencer like as a person. It's just it's a marketing. People fall for the marketing, is what I'm saying. Like they only care about making money at the end of the day. You know what I mean? They're not your friend.
I think that the PS5 is gonna emerge triumphant when both the consoles release, but I don't think that Microsoft cares all that much.
No,
because I mean, Phil has come out in the past and said that they're not competing with PlayStation anymore, and I think there is truth to that because I do think that this will probably be the last Xbox console or one of the last, at least in the traditional sense. Because they very much seem like they want to move toward services. Sorry? Which
is interesting because that Nintendo is not really competing with Sony either.
Yep.
And so that kind of leaves who the hell is Sony competing against?
Well, that's scary though, because companies that don't compete against each other is not good for the consumer.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, look what's going on with the Mario thing. Like Nintendo can get away with that because they're not competing with anyone in the handheld market. So we can release 3 old games for $60. And you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
For a limited release, and you can't do anything about it. And Sony used to be arrogant like that too. Sony used to be arrogant like that too. So if Xbox is not competing with Sony, I don't want Sony to turn into 2006 Sony again.
Right. And we've already talked on the podcast about certain anti-consumer stuff that happens within Sony anyway. Yeah, even with the competition.
Because don't get me wrong,
imagine without it.
Yeah, because don't get me wrong, we're on a Sony YouTube channel and a podcast, but I'll call Sony out on their bullshit too. I'm not afraid. I'm pro-consumer. I'm not.
You're not afraid of. You're not afraid of what's his name?
What's his name?
Mark Cerny.
With the
Herman Hulst.
No, the CEO.
Him and Hoss.
They can,
I'm-
they can bring Jim Ryan. I don't care. Shuhei. They can bring anyone they want. I'm ready. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll take him.
1-on-1,
Yeah.
Seb versus Mark
Yeah.
Cerny.
So on
Yeah.
that note, I think that's pretty much the show. Like, you guys, anything more to add or about this topic?
Nope. Next week,
No.
Sebastian versus Mark Cerny.
All right, you got it.
Yep.
Here, live,
Right.
the ring match.
All right, you guys have a good night. Peace. What's up, PlayStation fans? Thank you for watching PS Premiere's podcast. We record every Friday night and upload every podcast at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sundays. If you like what you heard, we appreciate any support by clicking the like button and subscribing.